I forgot that last part.
Okay. Last time I saw that was Three Sleep.
Exactly. You gotta keep life fun.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely what we want to do here. I want to start out with just saying how proud I am and how privileged I feel is to have you ladies in the studio with us tonight to talk about your career, your music, your experiences, who you are, and let our audience know exactly who the Marvelettes are today. Because today and the future is what's happening here on Off the Cuff. And we just freelance for the most part. Our audience loves the natural, comfortable, relaxed kind of approach to interviews and so forth. So I'm going to go start with you and your name and what you do.
I'm Jackie G, and of course, I sang with the Marvelettes. I sang with the Marvelettes.
We sang it.
And, we all have our respective tasks with the group. First of all, we've been together for 7 years. 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be going on our 8th year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful to be a part of this legacy. I'm just excited, and my task, my honor task is as with movement, because I was an Ailey dancer, and bless you, Judith Jamison is an angel now, and I'm so grateful to have that experience. But it helps me to help us, and we all contribute in that area. But each one of us has something that we all add to the professionalism and the Motown swag. They always had. You had the look, you had the movement, you had the music, you had the lyrics, the stories, and you had so I'm the and like I said, we all contribute, but movement and the look is my
Your
area.
forte.
That's my area with us. That's
Okay.
good.
All right. So how long have you been singing? Now I'm assuming that you dance as well.
Yes, I started out as a dancer.
Okay.
And that's why I was mentioning I danced with a gentleman that was very famous. He was a protege of Catherine Dunham, and he was very instrumental in raising a lot of awesome dancers here out of Detroit. His name was Clifford Fears, and I was his prima ballerina.
His name is what?
Clifford Fears.
Okay.
So I was his prima ballerina for 5 years, and it was a blast. It was tough, but that's how I was able to get to Ailey. I went to Ailey on scholarship. I was there around the time Jasmine Guy was there, and so I started out as a dancer. Now I started singing when I was in New York, dancing for Ailey, and I hurt my leg. I had an injury, a knee injury. So they say, when one door closes, a window opens, or however the saying goes. Yeah, and it kind of opened me up to other areas. I was like, I'm not coming home. So I wanted to, what I discovered is that every artistic expression, every medium is kind of connected. So I know even before I was going to dance, I was going to my art teacher in school wanted me to be an artist, sculpt and paint and stuff. And so, but I wanted to dance,
Okay.
So, but they're all so interconnected. So, but I was able to explore some other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I started singing. There's there's a gentleman named Ned Wright. There's the Phoenix Singers out of Detroit. Ned Wright, he sang with Harry Belafonte and another gentleman. They had a group called the Phoenix Singers. And he moved to New York. And when I got the scholarship, he let me stay with him in New York. And I said, when I hurt my leg, I said, Ned, I don't want to go back. I said, can you teach me some songs? So he taught me some songs. He was the road show of the Wjzz, the first Wjzz road show. He taught me some songs. He said, you have a pretty good instrument. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I say, that he taught me some songs. That was the beginning of me singing.
How old were you at that time?
Oh, I was in my 20s.
In your 20s? Okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Early 20s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, who inspired you to do that? I mean, who brought you? Who you had to be somebody that you said, "Wow, I'd like to do that."
Which, the singing or the dancing or the?
Well, entertainment as a whole, because I agree with you
Mm-hmm.
when you say they're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
They all have a place.
Mm-hmm.
Singing, you still got to move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then the artistic, you got to create.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all it all works together. I can relate to you because
Yeah. Well, I think it's always been a part of who I am. I know I come from a very large family, and we would be in the house and singing together and harmonizing and acting like we were doing the Beatles and the Jacksons. So and we didn't know where that came from. I mean, I have some aunts and that they played piano for the church and did that kind of thing, and I think that's where it started in the house, and then and church-wise, we didn't have a strict church background like a lot of people that began singing, but we did go to church and we'd sing in church sometimes, but wherever we moved to, we went to the church. Yeah, whatever church
was in the area.
Yeah, it could be whatever kind of church, Baptist or Seventh-day Adventist. Wherever we landed.
Wherever you landed, yep.
Well, we're all God's children. So
Right, that's right.
There you go.
But people have a different way of thinking and interpreting.
Yes, they do.
But that's the nature of having billions and billions of people, and each one thinks different, and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You don't have a choice because that's you.
Right.
So you have a musical family.
Sort of, not overtly. Yeah, it just.
Well, it didn't. When I say musical, I shouldn't even lock you into that, because it sounds like you had people around you that did a lot of different things. Because I always wanted to act. I felt like I was. I had the potential to do it. But I was the youngest in my family. So were you the youngest in yours?
Smack dab in the middle.
In the middle.
Smack dab.
You got it from both ends.
Smack dab. Yeah. So we started out with 6 kids in the household, and then my dad adopted his grandkids, which were around our same age. So we just there was confusions. We're brothers and sisters. We're all brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
So
Families did that.
Yes, they did. So out of 13 kids, I was the one in the middle. What is it? 6 on that side and 6 on that side. I was the 7th. That's what I mean by that.
All right. And I see you got the high note.
Yeah. A lot of times we all can sing.
Yeah, we all switch up.
Yeah, we switch up, but most of the to keep
Depending on who's leading.
There you go.
Okay.
You already know.
Jackie got to sing with some of her siblings too in the group. Remember?
We did a thing. Remember Dennis Rowland? Do you remember Dennis?
Motown. That's my buddy. That's my buddy.
Yeah, I remember us doing a gig for him.
He was
with
Count Basie
Rudy
too.
Hawkins and with what's his Teddy Harris arranged some stuff for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah. My sister. First, it was my sister and my two brothers. We were singing together, and then it was my sister, her son, and my son. We did that for a little while too. That was fun.
Family affair.
Yeah.
All right.
Then the Utes, you know how the Utes, they can't hang for too long. They stick it out for a little while. And get off and
It's too much.
living their life.
Right, right.
All right. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. So, Brenda,
Yes.
introduce you. Tell everybody who you are. The pretty lady sitting to the right there.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm originally from Muskegon Heights, Michigan. I've been in this area for many years now. I graduated from Oakland University with a degree in music. I've been doing music since I think I've been on the planet. And I didn't realize that it was a family trait until I got older. My mother's people, they picked it up, but they put it down. So there's really no musicians on that side. But on my father's side, we have mathematicians and musicians.
Okay.
I have a cousin that was the first chair violist for the White House Symphony Orchestra for many years.
Okay.
And so until he retired, he held that position. And
So I'm gonna stop you for 1 second. 'Cause
mhm.
So it's Brenda.
Jackie G.
And I know Jackie G. I'm gonna get back to you too.
Brenda Michelle.
Okay, but your last name is
My last name is Chapman.
Chapman.
I married a gentleman from this area. Mhm.
Oh, okay. I just want to know who you know, Brenda Chapman.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So you had a cousin that played in the viola.
And then I had a cousin that was the financial advisor to Clive Davis.
Okay.
And the other ones were mathematicians. I had one of my cousins was a professor at U of M. And as far as and there's other cousins that I just met recently that are also musicians and singers. One of my cousins sang with one of the Daz bands. I didn't even know it was more than one.
Daz
But,
band, let's go Daz.
Yes.
Daz band, yes.
So as we were talking on the phone, she was like, "Oh man, you sing too?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know." So it was a lot. And when I first arrived here, I was doing the first person I encountered, or the first family, was the legendary Miss Martha Reeves.
Okay.
And I became friends with her sister and her brother. I mean, and there was Delphine and Delphine. Oh my goodness, why is her name escaping my mind?
That's okay.
But
Take your time.
okay. Oh, okay. So they were the first ones, and you know, and I worked with Amin in a band because I started out really as an instrumentalist, and so I play bass and various other things, and so I played in a band with Amin, and he said I always choose you to be my bass player because, you know, you gonna know your music when you come through the door, kind of thing. So that's where I started, and then I kind of delve off into hip hop, and I was a part of Nation Studios, and her name is gonna pop up in my head while we're talking.
Okay. Let it happen.
Okay, and so you know, different people had a chance to work around Royce the 5'9" and some other people, and got a chance to meet Eminem, and I used to write bass lines to beats for hip hop songs, and that's what I did also when I first got here. And I'm also a teacher, so I taught music and everything. So you know, and that's how I, you know, serve the group as well. I'm like the music director, and I write and arrange certain songs that we perform.
writing is going to come into play in the future.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
For sure.
Yeah, and yep. And so we've all have experience with writing, and so we are definitely going to combine our forces and come up with some good stuff.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. That's
Yeah.
going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, we touched on it earlier when I was talking about how you carry on the legacy and being recognized for that. Because if it weren't for groups like this,
Mhm.
they would vanish.
Yep. I'm sorry. Her name popped in my mind. Lois.
Oh,
There it
yeah,
is.
Lois.
I know. I remember.
Okay. Hi, Lois. I'm sorry.
Yes.
But we used to do things at their house, family gatherings. I would be there. They had a family reunion where I played, and actually Delphine and Lois, we were practicing for it, and I mean, was like, so who's gonna sing lead on this song? And both of them pointed to me. She is. And I was like, you know, I'm the bass player. They were like, no, you're going to be singing on this song. So, right. So, yeah. But they were, I love their family. I really do. And a lot of good memories hanging out with them. And right now, I'm also playing in a couple of bands or whatever throughout the city, you know, bass and everything.
I've seen you before then on a bass with somebody.
Probably.
Yeah, because whenever I see, you know, a lady playing a bass, you know, I'm like, oh, like the girl that plays drums on what's that? One of those talk shows.
Oh, I like
And she's
that.
from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think I love that. I love to see that
Thank you.
because, and she's really, really good.
Excellent.
Oh my God. You know, you played upright.
I do. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I didn't get where you were from.
I'm a Detroiter through and through.
Through and through.
Through and
Detroit, Jackie. Gee.
Through and through.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. That's good. Well, that is amazing that you have so much to offer the group from a musical standpoint.
So important.
You started at an early age? I mean,
Yeah.
you play multiple instruments.
Yeah. I started learning instruments at age 11, but my grandparents had a piano when I was 5. My mother would teach me songs. They used to, you know, have piano lessons and everything. And so I was playing, you know, melody and harmonies, you know, the chords in my left hand and the melodies in my right hand. I was playing with both hands at 5.
Okay.
And before that, at 2, my mother, she was saying, you know, I didn't know if if I was just thinking that there was something different about this because this is my child. Is this just, am I thinking this special just because it's my child or what? But I would sit in front of the TV, and when Soul Train and American Bandstand would come on, I'd go get a pot out of the kitchen and a spoon, and I would beat that pot right on time. And she was like, you would be right on. And I didn't, you know, she was like, this baby's 2. You know, she would be like, how does she know how to do that? So there was something there from early on.
Yeah. I'm going to pause you for a moment. We're going to do a station ID. So you're listening to Wjzz Cool TV. This is Off the Cuff. I'm your host, Mark Scott. And we want you to join us every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. live stream on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and all major social media platforms. So join us, and you see wonderful groups like this and different activities and events that are happening throughout the city. On Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station is my favorite line. The coolest station in the world. So you would beat on abstract objects
Mm-hmm.
to keep rhythm,
Keep the beat.
and it was just in you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And also, we lived like 3 houses and across the street from my old high school. And when the band would practice, they would march around the high school, and I could hear them from my house. And I'm, I want to go see the band, and that sparked a lot because there was also a lot of musicians there that played. You know, it was a lot of the arts that was going on at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And my auntie played basketball, so she would pick me up after school and take me to the high school with her because my mother would still be at work. So we would be in the band room, and I got a chance to see a lot of the musicians play things and do different stuff, getting ready for shows and that kind of. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to do this.
And this is all at an early age.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, it's in your blood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don used to tell me, you said you've been bit.
Yes.
You've been bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it was. I mean, if I were to tell you, there's so many musicians in my hometown. There was a band across the street from my grandmother's house. My aunt used to take me over there when they rehearsed. You know, there were bands that had vans that would drive down the street wrapped with their names on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tinted Glass was one of those ones that were really I would see all the time. The name of the band.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that stuff did influence me. You know, and my auntie, her boyfriend played bass and different things like that. So I became influenced.
Did you ever
From my
perform as a
environment.
young person?
Oh.
Live at clubs or whatever as a young person?
As a young person, not in clubs or anything like that, but I was always performing with the school, doing various different things. And so,
I was 8 years old.
okay.
They would sneak me in and sneak me out.
Oh, okay.
That's when you got bit.
Yeah.
You got bit then.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was the youngest in my family,
Mm.
and so I was just go here, I went, go here, I went, do this, I went, learn this song, I did it, you know. But I wasn't the lead singer. I didn't do that till later. But I had a brother who had a beautiful voice, and he was handsome, and the ladies liked him, and I used to look at him and look up and just admire what he was doing. I just thought he was fantastic. But yeah, so I started at a very early age. The reason why I'm asking these questions because I can relate to that.
Right.
When I hear that
Yeah.
in your story, you know,
Uh-huh.
like, okay, synonymous. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda
Yep. Chapman.
Chapman.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda Chapman.
Also known as Brenda Michelle.
Brenda Michelle. Brenda Michelle.
Yes.
Okay, so we got Jackie G
Mm-hmm.
and Brenda Michelle. And now we come to Dr. Dolores.
Okay.
Also known as.
Also known as Lady D.
Lady D. But you know where I got that from, though?
What, the doctor?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It was on one of your pages or something.
Oh, well, I do have my doctorate.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that was the first contact I had with you, and I was like, oh, okay, well, what did she do? You know, all right.
Yeah.
So, tell us about yourself.
Well, let me see. Where shall I start? Well, I began singing at the age of 4. And that was in church.
Okay.
And I just loved watching my mother in the choir stand.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if she was one of the ones with the, the high voice coming out there or not, but it just amazed me.
So your
to
mother
see her.
sang?
Yes, and her sister.
Oh, okay.
Her sister.
Professional or like?
Well, my mother's sister, my aunt, she sang opera.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and but my mother sang with the choir, so that made me want to be in the choir. So I was able to be there. I remember, the lady there, Sister Tyree, who taught me, how to sing and everything there first. And so that was in Ohio. although I was born in Highland Park.
Okay.
We lived in Detroit at the time, but Henry Ford Hospital was not there on the boulevard.
Right.
So we moved down there for a while and then came back up here. So,
Tell me.
yeah.
It's your camera right there.
Oh, I'm sorry, you were looking at me, so.
Well, I know.
I know, right? You looking
But they
right
want
at
to
me,
know.
so.
They want to know.
You wanna know. So anyway, so yeah, so we moved back here. I was about 10 years old when we moved back. We lived about, oh no, a couple of doors, like you mentioned, a couple of doors from I think it was Butterball Jr. That was at a storefront for WCHB. And I already had been singing in front of mirrors, you know. Later would be singing in front of the mirror in the basement at the next house, you know. And I just love, I'd be in front of the, you know, we had those big stereos that would be on the
Oh,
floor,
yeah.
okay? And I'd be singing,
Magnavox.
okay?
Oh, I know. I know.
Lift it up, make sure you have that
Oh,
little
yeah.
anchor right so it wouldn't
Built-in
slam
speakers.
down, yeah, you
the
know.
whole nine. Yeah, I got it.
And I'd be singing Choosy Beggar and all of those things, going to a go-go.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
Choosy beggar, choosy beggar, and you're my choice, baby.
you're my choice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But I would run up to the store, what was a record shop, and ask him for a request for my mother and my big sister. She's, you know, an ancestor right now, but I would ask for a request, run back home, you know, and just so I could hear him say my name and the request to my mother and sister and what have you. So, but you know, I wanted to sound like the people on the radio. That wasn't quite getting it for me. I wanted to sing. I knew I wanted to be a part of what that was. So we were in Detroit, and I was in the choir, you know, at school and what have you. All the way through elementary school, I did choirs, acting, because I am an actress also, singer-actress. I have
Multi-talented. Multi-talented.
singer-actress, so in junior high and high school, I continued that, and I still do movies now. You can look me up in a lot of movies. You know, a lot of people always ask me, "Oh, were you the mother in 211?" Yes, that was me. You know, had something happen, you know, drive by, and I was out. You know, so.
The drama of it
That's good. I'm loving it.
You know, some bullet caught me there. Bullet caught me. And so that's always been a lot of fun. You know. Still doing that, the acting and the singing, of course. I had my own solo act for a while. I also am an educator. That's what my doctorate is in, educational leadership and policy studies. I was in the classroom for over 20 years.
That tells why you made a statement earlier in your comment here, and you said that you saw a choir that made you want to start a choir. So I'm thinking she's a leader, a creator, you know, starts things. You know, I like that. And it's just it's inherent.
Yeah. It's fun, and I like to be a part of groups. I do like when I have my own solo act, but also a part of groups, and I've been a part of several groups here in the city as well as in Kentucky. When I was at Kentucky State, I was a part of what was the L Street Band, I think they were called. We
I've
played
heard
it,
of them.
and we played at Up Jumped the Devil in Lexington. That was the name of a nightclub. For those of you down there, you may remember it. A lot of the friends I had at Kentucky State, well, some of them are a part of Midnight Star. I'm still good friends with a lot of them, and we were in different configurations of a few different bands down there. And so then back here, I was with a lot of different bands. I did sit in with Teddy Harris, and that's where when I came back home, I met a lot of the guys that I know now, and ended up in different bands with a lot of them.
Yeah, I grew up with Bo Watson and Melvin Gentry.
Did you up in Flint?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we were all at Kentucky
From
State.
little, right on to today. Yeah.
Those are my guys.
Yeah.
I was closer
Great
with
guys.
Belinda, with B, and Bill, Gant, Reggie, Vince. You know, all the rest of them. And but pretty close with Bo. I know him pretty well too. And but then I was with Everlife here. We were signed to 20th Century at the same time that Evelyn Champagne King was signed. Now we had a producer manager who signed a group of Detroiters at that time. Myself, our group rather. Mama Orthea Barnes, rest in heaven, and Mildred with her as Cut Glass. What is I'm sorry, I'm like you. What is his name? Chandler, Gene Chandler. I'm like the
Gene.
drummer. I had to do this. Gene Chandler.
All right, Mr. Showbiz.
And so you know, we were all signed, and we were shelved. Eventually, they worked with Gene Chandler. They wanted to work with us more than the production company would allow them to work with us, the A&R company. So some people out there listening, and we know now, all of us know, Hertz and Schramm, an attorney, a law firm here, you know, helped us, you know, get released from that because we couldn't do anything. It was that old same thing that happened like with New Edition, but we didn't know anyone at that time. We met, I can't think of his name, but I think he was the same person that helped them, but he didn't have that kind of position then. I can hear probably if Eddie would ever hear this. He's, you know his name? Say his name. I can't think of his name right now. I'm sorry. I said it to you guys before. So yeah. And after that, it's just been about continuing to seek. I finally did, we had records out, LPs and, you know, 12 inches and that kind of thing, but we were never able to put our own music out. We were all writers, you know, lots of instrumentalist writers, you know, horn players who came up with Marcus, under Marcus. He mentored them and what have you, and Teddy. And he wanted us, the production guy, wanted us to do his things. I won't say his name because, you know, we're all cool now. You know, you let bygones be bygones. We're all much more mature in the whole world of entertainment and how things happen.
The nature
you
of
know,
the business.
Yeah, the whole nature of the business.
Nature of the business. It's interesting.
It is. And so, you know, now everyone is free to do their own thing. And, you know, I have a single out that's been out that I want to redo and do a video with. And before, we were the Marvelous then. When I met Brenda, as a principal, right before I retired, I wanted to come back and find all the people that I hadn't seen before on the scene. I was off for about 14 years. When I left Everlife, I just went back and stayed in education. It kind of hurt my feelings that that group separated the way that it did. And I just didn't want anything to do with secular music. So I just stayed with gospel music for about 14 years. Only gospel. Like, I was so adamant about it, you know. So at any rate, when I came back, I went to Damamia. I'm sure you're familiar with Damamia, which is a citywide, you know, organization, and Jackie has been a big part of it, and Leslie Nelson, Gwen Fox, some other people. And they had been my friends since we had been in our 20s, those that I named. And I knew to look for them. I had been talking with Leslie, and she told me to come to a meeting. And who did I meet at that meeting? It was about 2011 or so. I retired in 2012. It was her. I saw her
me.
bring them Michelle. Like, hello. And I heard her talk about herself. Hi, how are you? Let's get to know each other. Maybe we can be beneficially,
Mhm.
support to each other. So Brenda began singing with me, helping me out. If I needed some background, I needed someone who could do both, background, lead, whatever. And she was able to do that for me. And also, then I met people who needed a bass player. I'm like, okay, I'll get you a bass player, all right. And like you said, when they saw a lady show up,
Oh yeah.
oh, come on.
Yeah.
So, so that happened. And I think that helped you, kind of get to,
Circulating
Yeah,
in that-
circulate, yeah.
In that respect.
Network in that respect. Met more people than I knew in terms of the musicians. Some of them that I didn't know because you were able to get into, some of the bands and gigs and what have you. We did the D Drop.
Mhm.
Downtown, they had just started doing that D Drop. That may have been the second year.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then, and we cannot mention us being the Marvelettes now without saying Catherine Anderson Schaffner. Mm.
Yeah, I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She was asked to put another iteration of the group together. And she said, I don't know any girls. So someone did know some girls and put some girls together, but it initially there were 3 girls. Okay, 2 of them moved along the way, and then I was asked, well, do you know anybody? Anybody? Well, first I went to Brenda because we had talked about having a musical director or someone. I majored in music for my first year down at Kentucky State, but I didn't like their music department. My parents never wanted me to go out of state. I was supposed to go to Oakland because Racy and other people had told me, girl, you need to go to Oakland. That's the music department. But I was fast, like they say, not fast, fast. And I wanted to go out of state.
Out of state, yeah.
And a friend of mine, of Rest in Heaven, Linda, she told me where I could go audition and to get a vocal scholarship. And 2 people on the panel, one of them was Motown, Dennis. That's the first time I met Dennis Rowland, and we became friends. Dennis and a counselor, because Dennis was at McMichael, and then the counselor was at Chatsey. So I met them, and then I went to audition and got that scholarship, and I went down there to for that. So,
So when you got with the group, you know what? I'm gonna take a moment and do this last station ID.
okay,
I wanna hear this story.
okay.
And then I want to get to this upcoming show that you're gonna be
Okay.
and what that's gonna be like.
Okay.
But you're watching Wjzz Cool TV. I'm your host, Mark Scott. This is Off the Cuff. We have the fabulous Marvelettes here with us tonight. So we want you to join us, share, and subscribe to Wjzz Cool TV, where you can get all the information you need on established, upcoming acts. I mean, anybody that I think needs to get some exposure. I'm willing to put that out there. You know what I mean? That you,
Blessing.
people don't always get it. So join us, share, and subscribe to Wjzz Cool TV Off the Cuff. And like I said, I'm your host, Mark Scott. And we're going to get back to the Marvelettes. Yes.
All right.
Okay, so I want to say excuse me, I have this water here because I get dry throat a lot. But anyway, I had Brenda come in, and then I said for the music part, we needed someone to be able to talk to the band. There's a lot more. So much we could be here 2 hours. They weren't respecting her first like they should have. Anyway, the women always have to fight.
Well,
Anyway, and all my life, I'm sorry.
All my life.
I had to fight. And then we needed another young lady, and so of course I remember my friend Jackie, and I talked to Joe about that. What did Joe tell me later when I asked him? He said, "Well, are you listening, Joe?" Because Joe said, "Well, Dolores, hey, I'm good with it. All is fair in love and music."
I'll never forget that line.
Joe,
Right.
my dude.
Right. Yeah, but they did
Yeah.
have
You
me
watching this, Joe?
audition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
had to
right.
sing. That's
She had
where
to- she
where
had
they
to
were
come
bringing
down to
me in
my-
as a
My
singer.
apartment, my
Yeah, I was-
condo.
Yeah, I was brought in as a singer first, and then they found out about the.
But the
music.
reason, no, that's not how they didn't find out. They found
Huh?
out about, this is how they found out about the music, because I said, I have a friend who can feel that. We had, but like I was saying before the break, we needed someone who could help us with that, with the music, to
Oh, okay.
communicate with the band, because we were getting ready to go to UK. The whole thing right then is we were preparing to go to that UK tour, and we didn't have anyone who could help us translate our music to those guys over there,
Okay.
particularly.
Mm.
And so that's why we were focusing on you, and if you didn't make it, but I knew you would, somebody else. So you sang, and that was like, hey. And then we looked at a list of other girls, but then the spirit said, Jackie! I went, put Jackie at the top. Jackie had to pray on it. She said, well, I got to pray on it.
I did.
And then I got to talk to Joe. No, okay, well, we're going to wait. And the next day, the answer was yes.
You know, if I may make a note, if it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. She's so soft spoken.
Am I?
Always, but she packs a powerful message every time words leave her mouth.
I would be remiss if I wanted to mention someone that really helped to polish us. I know, like, outside, my function right now, I did say is choreography and movement and making sure we stay tight in that area, and the look. But we had worked with Lisa McCall for quite some time, and she helped to polish us and really refine our movements and our look, and really
Lisa
keep it
is
tight.
amazing.
Yes, she's
LM
amazing.
Productions. LM
Yes,
Productions.
Yes.
She's
So,
amazing.
yes, I had to make sure that I made that note.
And
Right.
I want to say another thing that we cannot leave here without saying, and that is because Catherine and Gladys own the trademark for the Marvelettes
Yes.
together, their estates.
Mm-hmm.
And Catherine's family is the reason we're able to continue with that trademark. And her daughters, Colleen and Keisha, and the rest of their family, they're really behind us. And Keisha shores me up on that business part
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Absolutely good to know. So you guys are going to be performing in December the 21st
Saturday, 21st. That's right.
Yes.
with the Shades of Blue. Gotta make sure I mention the Shades of Blue.
Yes, absolutely.
Dynamos. They are
Yes.
If
dynamos.
you haven't seen the Shades of Blue, you need to come see the Shades of Blue for sure.
Stew in the game. Stew in the game.
Absolutely.
She's got that
Absolutely.
angelic voice.
Yes.
Legendary group
They are so good.
with Motown. Just legendary group.
And they
Yes.
look good too. They look good. They
Yeah.
sharp, sharp,
And
sharp.
when there's some really good guys too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good hearts
Yeah.
and know how to
Beautiful.
perform.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're professional
Absolutely.
about the way that they do what they do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think that's something that I admire about.
Mm-hmm.
And you too. You
Yeah.
me too. Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Chop liver over here.
Right.
That's right.
No,
That's
it's around
right.
these parts.
Well, thank you.
Mhm.
And I'm going to mention my guys.
Yes.
Yes.
who will be performing that night,
Mhm.
and Hassan Watkins, who's been with me for over a decade. I think he's been with me about a decade, about 10 years. And we got a new guy. His name is Timothy Ward, who is a young fella.
Mhm.
We call him the baby of the group.
Nice.
Hmm.
But he went with us when we went overseas to England, and he did a marvelous job. So the group is changed a little bit, but the sound is better than it was before.
That's healthy.
Mm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Nice.
And the performance is just, well, it is what it is. We do what we do. I mean, how can you not do a good job when you got somebody like Smokey writing all the songs?
Okay.
Right.
Listen here.
That in itself is a blessing to be able to deliver those songs. I remember Bobby used to tell me, I said, well, Bobby, what do you want me to do? I mean, I don't sound like Smokey. I don't try to sound like Smokey. He said, just deliver the songs. The songs will carry themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell all my guys that same thing.
Mm.
And it never fades. I saw him at the Apollo this past summer.
Oh, he's
He
absolutely
cuts
amazing.
up.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness.
I had a chance to open up for him, be a part of the group that opened up for him with Sheila Ray Charles, with Ray Charles's daughter, because I was one of the background people, and he was amazing too.
So
Yeah.
Do you
carry
guys,
his
do you
legacy
guys know
well.
Lisa Parham?
Yes,
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 absolutely.
She's
Yeah.
always
Powerful
with us.
vocal.
For sure.
And
wanna
she's gorgeous.
tribute
She's a powerful.
artist.
She's the full package.
Her
Mhm.
personality. I'm
I
sorry,
love
we
her.
love Lisa.
Right.
Love you, Lisa.
Well, I want
We
to make
love
sure.
you,
Hey, Lisa.
I want to make sure we talk about everybody.
Right.
Yes.
I wanted to try to get her in, but the scheduling was so hectic. I'm gonna try to get her in next week,
Okay.
and then I will be, pushing these interviews so people will know where we're gonna be and what we're gonna be doing at Phase 5.
Mhm.
You guys ever perform with them?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, great.
Michael
Yes.
Great bunch of
Seville.
guys. Yeah.
Perfection.
Yep,
They
yep.
put
Yeah.
the work in, and you
Yeah.
can see it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh-huh.
man. I saw them down at Burt's some years
Oh,
back,
Mm.
and I was sitting in the audience with Bobby. And I said, they said Phase 5, and they went up and started doing their routines and stuff, and they were so tight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've never seen
Harmonies
them when
were
they weren't.
so tight.
Mhm.
You know.
They will not disappoint.
Okay.
That's right.
Ever.
That's
And
right.
I was very, very. I'm not moved very often by
Mhm.
groups.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't. One thing I don't ever do is judge.
Mhm. Mhm.
To me, there's not better. There's different.
Mhm.
I don't see better. I see different.
Perfectly said.
I like that. I'm like, wow, that's nice.
Yeah. So when I saw them, they were a group that made me go
Mhm.
and listen to what they were doing. I mean, I really paid attention. A lot of times you hear it, but you're involved in a conversation or something, and you're distracted or whatever, and you oh, that's a nice group. But them, I actually watched their steps and routine, much like if I was watching The Temptations.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
when you watch them, let me tell you about a situation. We don't have no time. We don't have no time. I was about to tell you about this thing when we was in Australia once with the oldest, and I tried to do their steps, and he said, I said, I can do that. I was cocky. I can do that.
Of course.
Because I was in a group when I was a kid.
Uh-huh. Right.
We did routines and stuff. Come on, it can't be that hard.
Right.
That boy started showing me stuff, and he said, see, I told you.
It's
It
not
ain't as
that
easy as it looks.
Right. Right.
And that's how you know when somebody's put in the work. Is it looks easy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make it look easy.
They make it look like it's
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget the Fantastic Four.
And the
Yeah.
Fantastic
Yeah.
Four. Eddie Hughes,
Yeah.
the Fantastic Four.
Classic.
will
Jerry.
be- and Jerry, they'll be on the show as well.
Ray.
I mean, it's going to be a fabulous show. I think it's going to be, the lineup is just amazing.
Mhm.
It's diverse. It's got some of everything,
Yes.
and it's all Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Go
hey.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Go
Through and
Lions.
through and
Absolutely.
through.
Detroit
Yay,
is,
Lions.
is really blowing up. You know, we did the Super Bowl, and I think ever since the Super Bowl, it has just been getting bigger and bigger. The city
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the focus on the city
Mm-hmm.
has been just amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I just we're all going to be a part of that on December the 21st.
All right.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We
So
appreciate
you want to
it.
say something about that?
Mhm. Well, it's going to be a wonderful time. And if you don't have your tickets, make sure you get them. You can go online for the Ford Center for the Performing Arts in Dearborn and get them there, or you can go to the box office and get them. But don't wait until the day of because you may be too late. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. They are.
You may be
The
too
tickets
late.
are going fast.
Mhm.
You want to get yours now.
Yes.
Also, you guys, I'm getting old too.
Hey.
Yeah, it's
Aren't we
catching up. I
all?
forgot. I had you were talking, and I was trying to think, and I hold on to my thought at the time. But you guys are going to be on. I think the first half of the show.
I'm not sure of the exact
Have you heard the
lineup.
lineup
I
yet?
don't know the lineup, but
Okay.
whenever we come on, we're gonna bring it. That's all
Oh,
I
there
know.
you
Yeah.
That's
go.
all
Yeah.
I
We're
know.
gonna bring
That's
it.
what I
We're
want
gonna
to
be
hear.
ready for you.
That's what I'm talking
And
about.
we're gonna do some of the classic Marvelettes tunes, and we have some Christmas stuff for you too.
Oh,
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yes.
Our
You guys
musical
have anything that
person
y'all sing?
always arranges something for us
Special.
to do.
You got something you can do now,
Special.
real quick? You got a couple of minutes? No. Okay.
Don't mess with Bill.
No, 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 no. Don't mess with Bill. Don't mess with Bill.
Say it one more time.
Don't mess with Bill.
WJZZ
Well,
Cool TV.
all
Off the
right.
cuff with the Marvelettes here tonight. We're going to get off and let you let the next show come in. But share it and subscribe to WJZZ Cool TV, and we'll see you on